you enjoy playing support? Do you like the idea of being just the cutest little guy on the team?
Do you delight in the screams of your enemies as you consume their flesh and drag them to the depths of hell?
If that sounds like your cup of tea, then Jeff the Land Shark is for you. So let me give you a little quick start guide so you can get out there and start raising the blood pressure of the enemy team. First up, bread and butter, primary fire and secondary fire. This primary fire is what I like to call the piss beam. Provides a steady stream of healing to allies, has a pretty impressive range, and most importantly looks really fucking silly when you just kind of wave it around like a wet noodle. Your secondary fire is the old Hawk Tour, minus the crypto rug pull. Jeff spits a gulp of water at the enemy, dealing not only a solid amount of direct damage, but splash damage as well, because apparently this little gremlin spit is laced with high explosive. Basics out of the way, onto his abilities. First up is passive, which basically just means that he takes less damage from critical hits, purely because he is too stupid to realise he's been domed. And now moving on to his active abilities, we have his E. Jeff spits out a bubble, granting an instant burst of healing and even providing a speed boost, meaning we can add cocaine to the list of illicit substances that can be found in this gremlin spit. These bubbles can be spat directly onto allies or left on the ground for later use. However, the second these hit the ground, be aware, your DPS will lose the ability to perceive them, die with one right in front of their face, and then blame that on you. This ability is one of your most important, as without it your healing output is genuinely fucking dog shit. Moving on to your shift, this ability is what will prevent your conveniently football-shaped body from being drop-kicked into a field goal by Iron Fist whenever he dives you. Jeff dives into the floor, drastically reducing his hitbox, increasing his move speed, and healing him while it's active. You can also, for some reason, swim directly up walls, but it's fine, physics aren't something we really need to pay attention to. This is your main anti-dive ability, but be warned, while diving you cannot contest objectives. So remember this to avoid C9ing and throwing the entire fucking game. Finally, the objectively funniest part of his kit, his arm. After a brief delay, Jeff consumes everyone in a large circle, allies included. He can then swim around with them in his stomach for a max of 6 seconds, dealing tick damage to enemies. At any point during this time, Jeff can spit his enemies or allies out, launching them in the direction he's aiming. This means that you can eat the entire enemy team, paddle your way over to the nearest cliff, and then spit them directly into the abyss. However, mobile characters can escape this with dashes or flight. So to ensure a kill, I follow the words of wisdom passed on to me by your mother. Spitters are quitters. Here is how Santa gets around the world in one night. First and foremost, there's no way anyone's operating the sleigh sober. Fuck that. But here's the most important thing. Santa has a device. Santa's patented sleigh device. So now I feel like I can operate a sleigh. Alrighty, you ungrateful little cunts, I'm delivering you fucking Christmas presents. Oh, I can indicate. I forgot I had those. Now, if any of you ungrateful little cunts complain about what you got for Christmas, next time I come down that chimney, it's gonna be with a bat. There's no one here, we're right. What do you mean fucking red light fine? I got like 7 bazillion houses to get to around the world. Oh, fucking speed. Oh, you fucking cops. Fuck you, you dog. When doing the present deliveries, you just gotta kind of ignore the fucking cops. Alright, because they will try to pull you over for doing like 7 million miles an hour, but they just hate Christmas, alright? 70 Ks? Come on, let's get a bit of oomph. Can we get a couple more fucking reindeer on the front of this thing? When you're delivering presents, you will occasionally, clip random civilians on the sidewalk. It sucks, but it is just a cost of delivering for Christmas. When you put on your fucking Christmas list that you want a bloody Lego set, that comes at a human cost, alright? Ho, ho, ho! I want to ask an important question. Why does everyone hate Jeff the Land Shark? Ask most people and they're going to tell you he's fucking annoying, followed by sending you a video of him biting the curb, or getting punted into the sun by the Hulk. You see, I think there's more to it than that. See, despite the fact that he's just a cute little guy, I don't want to give him a hug, I believe Jeff is the reincarnation of a great and sinister evil that has plagued us since 2016, and I can fucking prove it. Let me lay this out for you. Jeff is an outwardly cute design using a blue and white colour scheme, but despite his mass appeal, he is treated as Satan himself by the broader community. He's hated largely due to an obnoxious CC mechanic which he can use to fuck over not only the enemy team, but also his own team. His primary fire is a blue beam, and his right click is a projectile with a surprisingly high amount of damage. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. Jeff is the reincarnation of May Overwatch, who has transferred her soul from a dying game into this adorable little guy to continue spreading pain and suffering through the broader community. I don't give a fuck though, because he's just a cute little guy. I don't care if he commits a couple crimes. We Australians routinely have our own pet Jeff the Land Sharks. Mine's actually over there. You can't see me. He's just off camera. My apartment shark. My apartment great white. Currently eating my bed frame because he's hungry. But I did feed him earlier today. So I don't know what he's fucking crashing out about. What's your problem, big man? Stop eating my fucking bed. No, not the you cunt. The fucking pillow as well. Anyway. Are you a support player? Do you love serving cum? If you do, then you should probably be playing Lunar Snow. So here's a quick start guide on how to correctly pull up to the team fight with a JBL speaker. First, your primary fire, light and dark ice. Luna yeets out a handful of ice shards that heal allies and damage enemies. While healing is obviously your main job here, it has 30 ammo and fires a 3-round burst and actually does a shitload of damage on headshot. So next time a duelist tries to jump you, firmly remind them that you are a strong, independent strategist, essentially wielding a burst fire M16, and send them directly back to the spawn room. Next up, Luna has 2 passives. First one I'll talk about now. The second one is a mystery mounts tool I'll talk about later as it interacts with other abilities in her kit. Luna's first passive is Smooth Skate. After moving forward for long enough, Luna starts skating, increasing her move speed and allowing you to hit some sick flips. This is a great tool for either running from Iron Fist or running back to the point when he catches you anyway, because he's Iron Fist. Moving into active abilities, first up we have Ice Arts. Luna buffs her primary fire, turning it into a single shot hit scan ice shard, which increases both the damage and healing output and allows it to pierce through enemies and allies. Great tool to boost your output in stressful situations, and also for killing the fucking Iron Man that your Punisher is too busy eating crayons to even look at. Ice Arts also activates Luna's second passive, Cryo Heart, which basically means whenever she casts certain abilities, she gives herself a shot of healing. The abilities being Ice Arts and her next active, Absolute Zero. Luna punts a snowball, dealing damage, and most importantly, freezing enemies in place. This is your piss off dive players button. If you get jumped, smack them in the face with a snowball and then mow them down with headshots. And on to Luna's last basic ability, we have Idle Aura. Luna attaches a little snowflake to an ally, and whenever Luna heals another teammate, the ally with Idle Aura also gets healing. This is a great way to get your dive players, who are deathly allergic to being within your line of sight and taking accountability for their own actions, to stop complaining about healing and to shut the fuck up for 5 seconds. Slap this bad boy on a Psylocke or an Iron Fist and they should only complain about heals if you lose the game, which is a marked improvement. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the peak of her kit, her ult. Luna absolutely queens the fuck out for 12 whole seconds, allowing her to toggle between healing or damage boosting allies in a large radius. Now look, the damage boost is cool and all, but the healing output is enough to make your team functionally immortal during team fights and even negate most duelist ults. However, anything that does high, consistent single target damage or burst damage can punch through it. So if you hear the words pure chaos, please be aware you cannot out-queen a bomb.
I must ascend to godhood. Goodbye.
The fuck? What the fuck?
Okay, so what you do is you jump on top of this, and then you jump up, and then you spam. Spam. Damn, that finger game weak.
Do not question my fucking finger game again. I've put countless hours of research into my fucking finger game.
How do you research finger game?
Listen, there's resources available. You can take a university course in it. Finger Game 101.
You don't have any finger game.
If you want assurances on the power of my finger game, ask your mother. Fun fact, femboys are a great source of protein.
Huh?
Bro, I did not just say that. What? Femboys are a great source of protein. Did I stutter? I don't think I did. I don't believe that I stuttered. Did I stutter? Think, Joe, think. Well, listen. Alright. Have you never had some of the homies' protein shakes? You want to tell me you've never had a bit of protein? It's really anabolic. Just great for lifting, you know? It's a really good forearm workout as well when you've got to shake the bottle. You know? I don't think you understand just how old sharks are.
We got a boomer!
See, I'm not just talking individual sharks. Hammerheads, Bruce from Nemo, Jeff. Yeah! Your average shark lives anywhere between 20 to 80 years. Nothing all that special. I'm talking sharks as a species. Because as a concept, sharks are f***ing one-tricks. They have mained this class through every single balance adjustment Earth has thrown at them. From climate change, to the Ice Age, to that time God decided to punt a rock at Barney the dinosaur. Yeah, when it comes to prehistoric shark species, most people think of the megalodon. That big boy the size of a kaiju that was swimming around in the ocean around 26 million years ago. Which might sound like a long time, but as far as sharks go, this thing's a f***ing zoomer. Go back around 250 million years to the early Triassic, before the literal dinosaurs, and you'll find Helicorpion, a shark with a f***ing buzzsaw for a mouth. 250 not far back enough for you? Go back around 300 million years, and you will find Adestus, the f***ing pog shark. And if that is still not far back enough, you can go all the way back, right to the beginning, to the first recognizable shark, Doliotis problematicus, at 410 million years old. Sharks have existed for 4 times longer than Saturn has had f***ing rings. The first tree only sprouted out of the ground 385 million years ago. That means that for 25 million years, Groot's great-great-grandfather was sat in God's drafts while this f***er chased Nemo. This is the world's oldest shark.
We got a boomer!
But how old actually is it? This absolute fossil over here is the Greenland shark. And this may come as a shock to you, but the Greenland shark is found in f***ing Greenland, man. And with Grandpa Shark here coming in at a f***ing kaiju size, 6 meters in length, and a literal f***ing ton in weight, this senior citizen probably worked with Godzilla back in his f***ing day. But how senior is senior? Well, you might be expecting him to say something along the lines of, 100 years, maybe 150 years, right? Try higher. No, not 200. Close, but not 300 either.
Chocolate.
No, the Greenland shark can live up to 500 f***ing years. I don't think you understand how old that is. So, to put it in perspective, this is Bob. Bob has just turned 500. Here is a list of things this f***er has lived through. All 8 of King Henry's divorces, the invention of chocolate,
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
Shakespeare's entire lifespan, the Boston Tea Party, the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of the United States, the colonization of Australia, the Industrial f***ing Revolution, the invention of the light bulb and adoption of electricity, the Titanic becoming a submarine, World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, the Vietnam War, the f***ing moon landing, and the invention of the internet. The first episode of SpongeBob. Schlatt's crimes in 99. 2001. The invasion of Iraq. The global financial crisis. The death of Harambe. Australia catching fire. The virus. And it's still with us today to watch fucking TikTok. Okay, so, as the Aussie animal guy, I feel like I might owe you an explanation for this one. That is a normal fucking Roo. No, he is not Roosus Christ, he's not the second coming, and he's not gonna turn your water into wine. Alright, he might turn it into VB if you ask nice.
Get that up, yeah.
But if that's the case, how the fuck is he stealing the Son of God's passive? Well, the answer is fucking sand.
I don't like sand.
Yeah, you see, what's far more likely than a Roo being enchanted with water walking is that he's actually running on a sandbar. That is basically just a fancy description for ocean currents piling up a shitload of sand into one place, creating an offshore segment of the water that's not much deeper than a fucking kid's pool. Now, Roos know about sandbars, and they actually very frequently use them as a shortcut to get from A to B to find more food. So, while it looks like Skippy here is stealing Jesus' entire fucking flow, he's actually on a Macca's mish.
Let me get a...
There is a competition in America where they vote on the fattest bear. That's right, lads. Fuck the Super Bowl. I'm about to introduce you to the most important American sporting event of the year, Fat Bear Week. Hosted by the Katmai National Park and Preserve in Alaska, every year from the 23rd to the 30th of September, the public watches as Winnie and Paddington fight it out to see who is the most absolute of units. And this year's highest calorie Kumamane has been crowned. But before that, how the f*** does Fat Bear Week work? Simple. See, the event is held in the lead up to hibernation season, while all of these bears are at the peak of their bulk. Now, while it's running, the park allows the public to view live stream footage from all of their trail cams. These cameras capture all the park's brown bears, allowing us to observe Freddy's fat ass cousins like we just got a job at f***ing Fazbear Entertainment. Each bear caught on camera is assigned a number and occasionally a name. We, the people, then vote on the contestants day by day, pitting them against one another in a fucking single elimination tournament bracket, determining with our votes which bear most closely resembles a pyro commission until one bear is crowned the victor. Now, you may think this is just some silly little event, but no, over the years, there has been fucking voter fraud, a manhunt for a missing hiker, and one year the trail cams caught one contestant beating to death and eating another bear. But now, to answer the question you've all been waiting for, the winner of the 2025 Fat Bear Week is 32 Chunk, winning with a broken jaw. They named that f***er after the render distance you need to load in his entire body at once. Australia just found a new shark. And of course, being from the land down under, it's fucking weird. Introducing the brand new Western Australian lantern shark. As the name suggests, discovered by a team of scientists off the coast of Western Australia. Now, as with the overwhelming majority of weird shit in the ocean, the Ozempic shark here is found in the deep sea, sharing a postcode with the anglerfish, that one xenomorph shark, and Now, despite the word shark making most people think of something a little closer in size to, I don't know, Bruce, Slenderman's fish sonar over here only grows up to 30 centimeters. This little guy shares a weight class with a fucking foot long. But I mean, honestly, I still personally think 30 centimeters is way too big. He could be just as good as the other sharks if he was, you know, let's just say 3 inches. However, other than being built like a fishy USB cable and owning a property in rock bottom, what makes him so weird? Simple. He fucking glows.
Throwing flashbang.
But fucking why? Well, you see, these bad boys are found in the twilight zone of the ocean, around 1.2 kilometers below the surface. A place so fucking far down, it sees less sunlight than the inside of a gacha addict's room. And so, lantern sharks evolved bioluminescence on their gills and fins in order to fucking communicate with one another. The glow is the evolutionary equivalent of a fucking indicator,
showing that a literal abyss shark is more intelligent than your average BMW driver. Aussie farmers thought they were being attacked by aliens. But what was actually causing it is so much funnier. This is a wallaby, the kangaroo's vertically challenged little cousin. Now, to get a little more specific, this is a Bennett's wallaby, native to my home state of Tasmania. And that location is very important to the story. Tassie is home to a lot of things. Beautiful views, a seal with a felony record, and the nut. However, one thing they tend to leave off the tourism brochures is drugs. Tasmania is the world's largest exporter of legal opium, the main ingredient in opioid painkillers like morphine, with this one tiny island producing 50% of global supply. Now, opium comes from poppy milk, and to get poppy milk, you need to milk poppies. And to produce that 50% of global supply, Tasmanian farmers grow huge fields of these things across the north of the state. However, because throwing these flowers into a crafting table gives you narcotics, these fields are legally required to be under extremely tight security. Which is why these same poppy farmers became extremely confused when crop circles showed up in the plant equivalent of a Town Hall 9 Clash of Clans base. They were understandably absolutely bewildered by this, and some people even thought it was aliens. So to figure out whether or not it was a Halo Elite drawing this shit, they set up some cameras. And what they saw was this little shit breaking into the field, eating the milk-filled buds, getting absolutely eyed, and then hopping in circles until he passed the out. They thought the Covenant were invading, and it was a drink-driving wallaby. This shrimp has a gun. No, this isn't a Fortnite skin. This is a real animal, and it's called the pistol shrimp. Now, unsurprisingly, being named after a firearm, of course it's native to the United States of America. Where the else do you think you were going to find it? However, they can actually be found expressing their Second Amendment rights over the majority of the globe too. Now, coming in at a huge 2 inches, it is not the size of his body that makes him special, but the caliber of the big iron on his hip. Or should I say big claw? You see, that oversized right pincher isn't just because he forgot to, switch hands while doing homework. No, mate, that claw is basically Mega Man's arm cannon. But last I checked, they can't call in an ammo resupply under the sea. So how does the claw become a gun? The answer is bubble. You see, these bad boys hunt smaller shrimp, and they start that hunt by jumping off the battle bus and looking for prey. Once they get within effective range, they will literally cock their claw like the hammer on a revolver. Weapon ready, they line up the shot, take aim, and
counter-terrorists win.
They snap their claws together so fast, it causes an underwater vacuum, creating an explosive cavitation bubble hotter than the surface of the sun. This bubble is then launched at the enemy at over 100k an hour. The bubble then connects with the smaller shrimp and flashbangs it. This either kills it outright or stuns it long enough to be consumed. Poor little fucker got quickscoped by Faye Shrimp. want you to imagine you're cave diving. You turn a corner and see a spider web the size of the fucking wall. I regret to inform you that no, this is not fake. This is an actual photo from the inside of a cave on the Greek-Albanian border, where scientists have discovered the world's largest spider web, located in a portion of the cave crammed to the brim with sulfur that has quite literally never seen the light of God. This wall of white sticky stuff spans 1,100 square fucking feet. That is the size of a 2-bedroom fucking house. However, finding the average Australian home on the wall of a cave at Y11 brings up a far scarier question. What the fuck built it? Well, to the relief of many, no, we did not discover a giant spider lair. Nor is this the result of a single spider with creative mode and world edit. No, it's far fucking worse. Because this web is the arachnid equivalent of getting the boys on for a 2-week Minecraft phase. Because this web is a collaborative effort. It was built by 111,000 fucking spiders. That isn't a tree. It's a fucking bird. Introducing the Tawny Frogmouth, a species of bird found in the land down under, and Australia's very own avian equivalent of a maxed out Skyrim stealth build. Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, it can't be that stealthy. I can see it. Yeah, you can. You can see that one. Did you see the one right fucking next to it? Now, the important question is, why the fuck do these things have predator camo? Well, there's 2 reasons. First of all being, it's fucking Australia. You see, these bad boys are primarily nocturnal, staying on the move during the night and dive bombing unaware insects to meet their bulking goals. However, that means that during the day, they sleep. And in a country where at any point you can be bitten, mauled, stung, or fucking drop-kicked to death, laying down in the wrong spot can turn a short nap into the forever sleep. So, in order to prevent themselves from becoming an item on a snake's KFC order, these tactical chickens evolved the ghillie suit to basically allow them to fucking disappear. Being practically invisible allows them to unlock their second passive, fucking DoorDash. You see, these guys are so fucking good at cosplaying a stick that not only do predators mistake them for Groot, but so does their prey. And so, whenever they take a nap, they just leave their mouths open a little bit. And whenever some poor ant just tries to walk his way to work, he instead DoorDashes himself directly into its fucking mouth. Australia just found a new insect.
Who's that Pokemon?
And in a certified Australia moment, it is unironically called the fucking Lucifer bee. Because of course we have the Satan bee. The snakes and the spiders and the fucking dinosaurs weren't enough. No. Now I gotta dodge a rejected doom enemy on my walk to work. Discovered in the closest climate to hell on Earth, Western Australia, these bad boys were named after the Lord of Hell for 2 reasons. The first of which being the giant fucking demon horns bolted to their heads. Now, those horns aren't just there to look scary. They're actually a defensive mechanism to protect the demon bees from bigger predators. However, only the ladies of the species stay strapped, as the horns are only found on females. Meaning a more accurate name for these absolute girl bosses is the Karlak bee. But a pair of spirit Halloween horns can't be the only reason they're named after the devil, right? I mean, there's gotta be fucking something else. Like, do they spit fire? Maybe they've got a pitchfork for a stinger that injects you with fucking acid venom? The answer to that is, no. It's a normal fucking honeybee. The actual reason is that lead researcher, Dr. Kit Prendergast, was watching the fucking Netflix show.
Biggest cock I've ever seen.
And this isn't even the first time she's done something like this. She named another species after her pet dog. Fucking based.
You ever wonder how different Christmas is in Australia? Well, wonder no longer, because I'm here to tell you that, like the rest of the country, it's fucking cursed. First off, our Christmas is in the dead centre of summer, which means that rather than waking up to a lovely white Christmas, we wake up and immediately start melting into a puddle because it's 35 fucking degrees outside and the aircon's broken. With this change in weather comes a change in work uniform for old Santa Claus, trading out the usual red and white for a singlet and a pair of thongs. Because to quote the big man himself, fuck wearing that shit, it's too hot. St. Nick has also bought himself a new whip, trading out the sleigh for a, quote, rusty old newt, and firing Rudolph and all of his fucking blades, replacing them with, I shit you not, kangaroos. You may think I am bullshitting you, which is fair, but no, I'm not. We even have a song about it.
Dashing through the bush in a rusty Holden ute.
Santa also has had a significant change in diet in the land down under, as rather than the usual milk and cookies, my parents told me to make sure to leave a few nice cold beers out on the countertop for old Santa, which, knowing what I do now, was absolutely just an excuse for my parents to pre-game Christmas Day. But I also can't think of anything more Australian than turning a jolly old man into a raging fucking alcoholic.